Good morning, everyone. We'll start our workshop now. Thank you very much for coming to this. My name is Alan Hamid, and I'm the Chair of the Commission on Environment, Economic and Social Policy. And this workshop is one of the 4 official workshops of the Commission. It's called Economic Policies and Sustainability at a Time of Crisis. CEESP, as you may well know, is the commission that's tasked with the challenging role of seeing how social, environmental, economic, and cultural policies all interact. And it requires us to look at issues in a more comprehensive way, to look not just at the state of nature, but looking at issues such as sustainable livelihoods, the impact of the economic system, on the ability of communities to be able to address the issues that they need to. It's a challenging role, and I'm very pleased that within the Commission we do have a specific theme on macroeconomics, environment, macroeconomics, trade, and investment, or TENTI. What we're presenting to you today is some of the considered reflections and research on the work that's come out of this theme. We have 3 speakers, and our program differs a little from what you might have seen on the website. We're very honoured to have as our first speaker Minister Kate Peters-Rossimanis, who's the Minister of Environment from Estonia. And she's going to give the perspective of a government, how a government has to look at issues of sustainability in times of an economic crisis and how you develop economic policies around that. Then we have 2 other speakers, Maria Bernadal from Mexico and C. Srivastava from India, who will be sharing with you their analysis of crisis recovery and sustainability, globalization, crisis neoliberalism, and changing the policy paradigm. We'll have breaks within these sessions for discussion, and our hope is that we will engage with the speakers, ask questions, and help us all get an understanding of this very critical issue. I must admit, it's not my area of expertise, it's not something I know well, so I'm very much a student listening with attentive ears. But I do know that at a community level, at a national level, we're all struggling to figure out how we're going to continue with economic development without compromising environmental standards, but also cultural and social values. But I'd like to now ask Minister Kate Peters-Rossimanis to take the floor, and she'll be talking for about 15 minutes.
Good morning to all of you, and thank you, Madam Chair, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, of course, let me thank you for this wonderful opportunity to say a few remarks here today. And I do believe that this workshop and we all have here today actually addresses some of the most relevant topics for the future of our countries, but not only for individual countries, but for the planet as a whole. So it is a pleasure for me to contribute to the discussion. There, of course, is no doubt that we are living in extremely challenging times. There is, at the moment, financial turmoil and economic uncertainty. But there is also climate change and biodiversity loss. There is a fear of the sustainability for future growth. And actually no matter of which one of those challenges we try to tackle, we face everywhere serious obstacles. We face them in Eurozone and in lots of other countries. We face them also in Durban, in Rio, and probably will face them again in Hyderabad and in Doha later this year. And the general mood everywhere is that the general mood is not of setting new very ambitious targets, but mainly desperately trying to maintain and achieve the ones that are already there, that are already set. And to start with, I have on purpose talked about economic and environmental problems in a way in the same breath. Firstly, because I do believe that they cannot really be explained, let alone solved, when addressed separately. For example, we only need to think of climate policy or resource efficiency to realize that. But secondly, and most importantly, for today's discussion, I think that those problems have indeed the similar or maybe even the same root cause. Talking about sustainability, one might say that sustainability today already is a much maligned word, and in a way actually that's a pity, as it is the very thing the world has been lacking both in financial and environmental policies. And if we do not want to call it sustainability, or at the moment actually unsustainability, we can also talk about living beyond one's needs. Spending what we do not have, or actually what is not ours to spend, being greedy and short-sighted, and also thoughtless. I think it is crucial to understand that the problem is not austerity. That is, of course, not very loved everywhere, the austerity. But the problem is the way of thinking that actually created the need of this tough austerity policy. And in my mind, it actually has obvious parallels with environmental policy. The problem is not that there are very tough restrictions on using the natural resources, but the fact that we have used and still use these resources carelessly, and therefore there is need for restrictions. So in both cases, whether we are talking about environmental issues or we are talking about the economic issues right now, we need to focus on the problem itself rather than rage endlessly against the consequences. Of course, I know that it is right in the long term. That I know that what is right in the long term can be painful in the short term. And it is true that the crisis has hurt environmental efforts in very many places. When the economy is in free fall and people every day suffer, it can be difficult also for the governments to prioritize environmental integrity. And this probably is especially true for the countries and regions that already had very tight belts before everybody started talking about belt tightening. And coming from Estonia, I must say that I can relate to those countries. I will also shortly go back to the history for a country, for my country, for a Estonian country that actually can be a model for very many other countries at the moment. 20 years ago, Estonia, as you all know, had recently regained its independence from Soviet occupation. And at that time, our economy was in tatters, and our environment was damaged by years of neglect. So for 50 years for us, we had been cut away from democracy. We actually were isolated from the international community, but in the space of 2 decades, actually, we have managed to build a country with a functioning democracy, fast-growing economy, fiscal policy that in fact is envy for many other countries also in the European Union, a country where public services are available for all online, but also a country where almost 20% of the territory is under environmental protection. A country of great biological diversity and unspoiled nature. And I must say that it was not easy, and of course we are not perfect, but we know that protecting nature and increasing prosperity can be done simultaneously, even if the starting platform is not that great. We're talking about crisis and environmental policy. Much has been also said about the crisis being the opportunity. And sure, since it has been talked so much, for some it can seem a little bit empty talk, especially to those who are in trouble at the moment. But however, despite the cliché, this is the only productive way to view difficult times. To view them as opportunity to do things in a better, cleverer, and more sustainable way, keeping in mind your country's and again the whole planet's long-term interest. Coming from behind, just as Estonia had been doing, also has the advantages of avoiding the mistakes many other countries has been done before. And again, Estonia knows this from experience. As I'm sure you may realize that I am not a big fan of beating the economy against the environment or technology against the nature. I do not believe nor think that this is or can be a zero-sum game. I do believe, and I'm a very strong believer, that both can win and must win. If you want to survive as a species and as a planet, then in our resource-scarce and crowded world, the future belongs actually to those people, organizations, and also countries who strive for a better life as whole, a life both prosperous and in tune with our surroundings. And in the end, there is no prize, or really no prize, for those who pollute more, or there is no economic benefit for those who damage ecosystems. I have mentioned several times the importance of keeping a long-term perspective. It is difficult to deny that somehow, in the long run, economic and environmental goals need to be aligned. Understandably, decision makers are often afraid of the immediate effect. They are wary of making the initial investment. But actually, in many cases, in very many cases, the benefits are in fact not far in the future. And implementing sensible policies is more a question of will, of right attitude, and good governance. For example, during the crisis, there are also big debates over the tax systems, over how the tax system should be modeled, or how and if they can be changed. Moving the tax burden from the labor taxing to taxing the resource use and pollution is certainly one way that the country crisis can choose. And it does not mean there is no need to put an unbearable burden on companies who of course also suffer during the crisis, or consumers. But it will send a very powerful signal and encourage sustainable behavior. Coming back to my country, to Estonia, 7% of our tax revenues comes from the environment-related taxes and tariffs. 7% is quite a big number. The important thing is that most of these revenues we collect from the resource using the resources goes back to the environment sector. We send it back via investments and support for the investments. So what we collect from those who pollute goes back to the environment. This does give and has given a double effect, bringing us closer to both our economic and environmental goals. Or another example, investment in IT technology. It will give and has given an immediate boost to the sector, while also reducing the impacts on the environment. So everything starting from small things, from needing less paper and no need to travel to government offices, if most services are available online, not to mention the boost in the green technology scheme. To conclude, I would say that the seeds for sustainable and greener thinking are in fact all around us, and they are already sprouting. So now it is important to tell them. In many ways, I do not think that we suffer from the lack of visions or from the lack of ideas, but there is still a lack of good old sensible governance and implementation. So I suggest that if we want to put a positive spin on the current crisis, and I'm sure that this is exactly what we do want, we should use these difficult times to implement policies that we know are right, but have not had the courage to put into action. And coming from being the representative of the government, I must say that in doing so, the payday for not the government, but for the whole nations and for the whole planet may not be as far off as we feel. Thank you.
For a very enlightening speech, and it's really comforting to know that there are ministers of government who are thinking in such ways, being prepared to look at different models. I just want to take this opportunity to see if there's any questions that you might have for the minister. And could you identify who you are and from which organisation? There are microphones. We'll just take one or two before we move on to the next session.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. That was a really sort of uplifting presentation. It gives us hope. I just wondered if you could elaborate a little bit about the, you mentioned environmental, the environment contributing to the economy. Which aspects of the environment, if you could give some examples, is it like carbon taxes, or revenue from natural resources, or levies from environmental protection? Thank you.
Thank you. It's mainly the using resources. I mean, in order to use the nature's resources, everybody must pay. It's very simple. It's, whether it is mining or whether it is using the resources for building materials, they all are, there are tariffs to there, so that they are all not taxed, but you have to pay the tariffs. And then the big part of it goes to a very specific fund we have that is connected with my ministry, with the Ministry of Environment. And there, pretty much everybody who has the programs for the goods or for environment can apply for the support from this fund. And so it goes back to the environment side. We do not have our own carbon tax right now, but of course the companies that also pollute air or emit CO2, they have to buy the quota mainly. There are few who has had the possibility to use this free CO2 quota, but as you know, there will be change next year in the whole system, so they must buy then the quota from the market. And in a way, I must say that it has been a good motivation for the companies to make a big investment